Hi, this is Lesley Calvo. Welcome to my episode, and this is a very interesting episode about boundaries and truth. This is something as human beings we find it extremely difficult to create strong boundaries because we're always thinking about the other people that are involved, and we're not wanting to trust our own instincts, our own voice within us. And we're thinking about what other people's opinions, other people's needs, which is an important part of this. Though there's also an important part where there's an understanding that you have needs and that what is important for you and your truth is valid. It's really valid. So one of the things that I want to talk to you about, first of all, is boundaries. And this could be boundaries in relationships, boundaries at work, boundaries with friendships. It's an awareness because often we don't think about our own needs, right? We don't think about that. If I said to you, what are your needs? What are your really deep needs that need to be met right now? And often in that moment, it's like, I have no idea. We don't give time for this. So we're in any form of boundary. A boundary is just setting a place that is for you non-negotiable. It's not comfortable. And often we're thinking so much about the others that we forget about ourselves. So to start healthy boundaries, you need to start to trust yourself and honor yourself. One of my favorite mantras ever is I love myself, I trust myself, I honor myself, I respect myself. And that is really powerful and important because those four things, honor, trust, love, and respect, are the things that create really powerful boundaries within you. And so whenever you're in a situation, often we're thinking at that moment, okay, well, how's the other person going to react? What are they going to feel? What's going to happen with them? And we forget about that we've got a truth within us that we know. We know the answer to often all of our questions, that we get caught up in the mind. So what I invite you to is to start understanding that your opinion matters, your needs matter, okay? What is important for you and what is truth for you is something to be found within yourself. And I want you to do this through just sitting in silence with yourself and listening, okay? This is something we're so busy looking for the external to find answers, and we're running, especially in our life and our society, we're running all the time. And we don't just sit and listen to ourselves because you have the key, you have the answer within yourself. So first of all, whatever the question is, whether it's to do with a relationship, whether it's to do with work, whatever the place that you're feeling that there's some kind of difficulty within a relationship or within a connection with another person, then I want you to first of all just sit with yourself and say, what do I really need here? What is really important to me here? What is my truth in this situation? What do I need? And you can do this with a pen and paper. So sit there, sit in silence, listen to yourself and see what comes up, not from your mind, but see what comes up from your heart, from inside. It's a different kind of voice. And if you're not used to doing this, you might need to sit in silence a few times and just listen. Say, okay, what is my real feelings here? What's important for me here to be held? What do I need? How do I need to be seen? How do I need to be heard? Because your voice is important. Often we start to think that the other person's is more important than ours. But right now, I want you to think about what is your voice here. Because that's where we create a strong boundary, is accept what is acceptable to you and what is not acceptable for you. So I want you to sit in silence, listen and go within and find the answer that you need. So ask yourself, okay, well, what do I need in this moment? Okay. And the one thing that we can't control, we can control our truth and we control what we need. We can't control the other person's. We can't control how they're going to react. But what we can do is if we stay within our own truth, we also know that it's the truth for everyone around us. This is a really powerful thing that we kind of want to try and manipulate others or manipulate a situation or change a situation for it to benefit us. Though ultimately, the most important thing is to listening to underneath what is the fundamental importance. When we think and feel to ourselves from a place of like, I am worthy, my feelings matter in this situation, my desires and needs matter within this situation. And then from that place, we can be really strong about, okay, well, this is acceptable for me and this is not acceptable for me. And then it's up to the other person, because a boundary is to do with a connection with another. It's up to the other person then how they deal with that. And you can do this from a place of love and compassion. So we're not doing it from a place of like my way or the highway. We're just doing it from a place of this is important to me. This is what I need. And from that place you can talk to a place from actually what are your needs? And then find if there's a way, and if it's to do with work, it's coming from a place of like, this is my truth and these are my needs and this is important to me, and how can we work forward with this? What do you need? What do you, this is actually, I feel like I need a raise. Actually, I'm not getting paid enough for what I do. Coming to that place, it's just speaking up the truth, your truth within it. Because what we tend to do is go, I'm just too scared, or I don't want to, or maybe it's an awkward conversation, or how are they going to react? And then we start to play out in our head what they're going to say. So we have this whole conversation in our own head about what the person's going to say. And what I do is I call this crossing the bridge before you get there. Because you have no idea how they're going to react. You have no idea what they're going to say or how they're going to respond to you. What is your responsibility is speaking from your truth, what you need and what in that moment. And you cannot be responsible for them. You cannot be responsible for how they're going to react, but you can come from a place of compassion and love and empathy. Whatever the situation is like, okay, I understand you. I understand what your needs are. I understand that these are my needs. This is important to me. And this has to change, or this has to stay the same, or this is what I accept, or this is what I don't accept. But when we do that from a place of love and also from a place of strength, remember, I love myself, I trust myself, I honor myself, I respect myself. The more that we work on this self-worth and self-love, the more that we understand actually is what is important to you is really important. It's not all about what everyone else is feeling or how I'm going to be able to tiptoe through this situation so that I don't upset anyone. It's not from that space. It's like, actually, I'm valid. I am valid, and how I feel is valid. And when we communicate from that place and we come to the real truth, remember, from that place of listening, what is really important to you, when we come from that real place of like inner truth, then we can open up a really dynamic and insightful conversation. And that's where relationships can move to a deeper place, or they can, if it's a romantic relationship, maybe it changes and shifts, and maybe it moves into something else. Maybe it moves into a conscious separation, whatever it is, or maybe it gets deeper in that moment. But it's an understanding of listening as well to that other person in that moment, what their needs are, what's important to them. And then coming to a place is like, okay, can we move forward with this? From the place of what are my non-negotiables, what is non-negotiable for me? This right now is non-negotiable. This is what I need. This is how I need to move forward. And then if it works with the other person, then brilliant, it can get deeper. And if it doesn't work from that person, then we're understanding, okay, that's okay. That's okay for me. If this isn't for them, that's okay for me. And at work, how we can do this, because it's a different kind of experience because you're not separating from someone often at work. Though what we can do is come from a place of, this is important to me, these are my needs, I can hear yours as well, how can we move forward? How can we go forward from a place of, rather than feeling like always you're thinking a lot of things of like, oh, I want to react in a place, I want to do this, I want to say this, but not actually standing up and saying it, because this can actually give you an opportunity and doorway for things to get better for you, to get deeper for you, to actually go even further into the relationship or further into work from a place of you're seen, heard and respected. And again, we're not talking about confrontation. One of the things that I was taught was really beautiful is carefrontation. I care about myself enough to have the difficult conversations. I care about myself enough to have the conversations that might be uncomfortable, because my needs are important. Your needs are important. Your voice is important. Your truth is important. And then it's the truth for everyone else around you. And it's okay to stand up for yourself. It's okay to have your own opinion and your own thoughts. But the first thing is to sit quietly with yourself and just listen what they actually are, without all the noise of the society, without all the noise of what's happening around you. Just listen to your own truth. What do you need right now? What's important to you now? What do you feel needs to be this next step of your life? And then speak from that place. Speak from the place of your heart, from compassion and strength. It's okay to be you. It's okay to have feelings. It's okay. We're not talking about understanding or hurting another person. What we're doing is just understanding that you need to listen to yourself and love yourself from that place of understanding and accepting. I respect myself. I love myself. I trust myself. I honor myself. And when we come from that place, then life can evolve, and our situations can evolve in a way that we can never imagine. You can't control the outcome, but what you can control is your own truth, listening to yourself, honouring yourself, and knowing it's okay to say no. Because when we say no to something, we're saying yes to something else. And when we say yes to something, we're saying no to something else. So think about what you want to say yes to. What are you showing up to? What do you need in your life now? What moves you forward in your life now? And how can you have that conversation that might be challenging or difficult, but you're being true to yourself, and you're from that place being able to move forward from a place of honesty and freedom within yourself. So I'm looking forward to your comments on this. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens when you start to understand that you do deserve to take up space. You have a voice. Your voice is important. What you feel is important. And also from a place of love and empathy to go out into the world from this place of like, actually, I can show up for myself from this beautiful listening and honouring, and also honour other people and listen to them and love them for who they are and like them for who they are and see their benefits for what they are, and then make your decisions from that space. So yeah, I hope that's helpful for you. Looking forward to your comments, and see you on the next episode.